This is the Healey Brothers Show.
First, like we have in the past, we did a monthly at some points. We're going to talk here about used car market here in 2025. You know, kind of trends with our inventory, seasonal sales. I'm going to ask you guys to guess some prices. I know Brian's got an unfair advantage here. Brian's got an unfair advantage. That's something more fun about like your dream cars, right? Trying to just add two more humanized segments to it. So first, Brian, I know we talked before we started filming about inventory levels fluctuating and just over the past couple days. If you want to talk about that just a little bit, and then we'll move on to like kind of like what the trends are going to be throughout the year.
I'd say our used inventory has been pretty static as far as what we're able to keep in stock. It changes every day. So go back 2-3 weeks ago, even though we're selling about the same number of cars, we might have had 375 in stock. If we look this morning, it's more like 325. But it's going to continuously change day to day. It updates multiple times per day, actually. And what really drives that is the type of vehicles that we're selling. So we're selling many more of the affordable vehicles, the $20,000 and under. The trades that come in on those $20,000 pre-owned vehicles typically have a significant number of miles. The condition isn't as good. We still run them through our shop and see if we can sell them as $10,000 pre-owned vehicles, but not as many of those pass through our reconditioning process. So we end up having to wholesale a lot of those. So we're still getting a good amount of trades in, but the percentage is just a higher percentage of lower level trades as we're selling more inexpensive vehicles on the pre-owned side. So we're still retailing anywhere from, I'd say, about 400 used vehicles per month, but the inventory levels that you might see on the website, it's going to bounce up and down.
Yeah, it's interesting how much it can fluctuate from 375 to 322 over the course of just a couple of weeks. It's crazy how much it can fluctuate, but it makes sense with the type of trade-ins that we get.
A busy Friday and a busy Saturday, then you get rid of all the cars that we sold on those 2 days. And then come Monday, Tuesday, the trade-ins haven't been processed yet through the accounting side. So you lost 40 pre-owned vehicles from the website that we retailed, and maybe you have 25 trades that we know we're going to keep, but those deals haven't been processed yet. So it's a 65 swing. And then by Wednesday and Thursday, you'll see the inventory pop back up closer to what it was. And then you have a big weekend again, and it goes back down. So it's always continuously revolving.
Okay. So now more so talk about kind of what the trend's going to be throughout 2025. Because I think when I was searching up for some stuff about this, we're only a couple $1,000s off of used car prices from 2019. So you're inching closer and closer to pre-COVID levels. So do you think by the end of the year, are we going to actually hit that mark where you're back to where we were in 2019, or are we still going to continue into 2026 trying to get closer to that mark?
I don't know if we'll ever hit that mark again, just based on the pricing of new cars has gone up. Even if you take out any rebate or interest rate factors, just the prices, the MSRPs are higher. And when the MSRPs are higher on a 2023 Explorer versus what a 2018 Explorer was, that used vehicle is going to have a higher resale value. So I just think it's always going to be a little bit more, just like, houses or whatever else that it might be. It's just we're on the.
Yeah, I mean, it corrected. So, but they're like, when prices are still increasing, it's not like they're just completely just nosediving or anything like that. So the values are going to stay at, these cars I would say they're correcting now a little bit. Yeah. Residual values are correcting, so.
Certain vehicles' used car values drop between like $5,000 and $8,000 just from within the last like 12 months. Maybe it was.
It's more of a correction. It's like when they say drop, the values were so high and out of whack that it's correcting, and now it's becoming more affordable for the consumer. Rates are coming down as well, which is another big thing. I think the new car average rate came down almost a full point, or like 0.5 points in the last like month, which is huge for that, and that also helps everyone.
But if you compare again, let's say we're in 2025, you compare to 2015, just the average price of every vehicle was less expensive. So when you go to the used side, when let's say a Hyundai Accent back on, used to be $99.99, you get an Accent for a manual transmission and roll up windows in 2010, that same vehicle is a $20,000 $22,000 vehicle with a lot more amenities. So, you know, the used side is going to be up, and it's based a lot on. There's a lot of decreases that have happened, but it depends on the model and even the trim level within the model. I mean, a vehicle that's still holding strong is a Ford Maverick. I mean, those vehicles tend to sell even above what MSRP was.
Yeah, well, it's like the Toyotas. The Toyotas are still above
You know,
MSRP.
and then you have certain vehicles that are thousands of dollars off.
Yeah. Like the used Toyotas are because that manufacturer got their inventory in check and their 30-day turn. The other manufacturers can't control their new inventory and they're out of control because they want market share and it affects their used car values and their certified programs and all that. So it's really comes down to the OEM and obviously him being smart and our managers being smart of what we buy and how we put the right number on the car because values do slightly change, but it's becoming more stable where it's not like, oh my God, it's price drop 1 week and then a major increase the next.
Yeah, when I was doing some research on like the recent, like maybe not drop, how you said like correction, I think there's 15 to 20 new cars right now that have 0% offers from the manufacturers. Some of them are like 72 months at 0%. So that's leading to a lot of the correction where, you know, 0% can make a big difference with some.
Yeah, I mean, there's other factors that come involved with it too, good credit and all that stuff in certain terms.
Not everyone qualifies for it, but it's part of that correction with the used cars is offering 15 to 20 different new cars on the market right now at 0% MSRP. Like
Those vehicles typically have a big rebate or the 0% because there's too much inventory. And that's the way that the manufacturers offer these vehicles at either a massive discount or 0% for 60, 66, 72 months to get that inventory out.
It costs a lot to hold on to it.
I know two of the ones that are at like our Chrysler stores, one is a Pacifica and the other one is the Hornet. And I know the Hornets aren't the best.
Let me correct on the Hornet. The Hornet had a stop sale for a bit because they had to fix some recalls. It's now for sale, so they need to move the product. Also, they've gone through a lot of changes, but Stellantis is on the rise. New CEO. He's bringing back some old school Jeep product, which is cool. He announced yesterday, so that'll go. But for back on use, it really matters. But that's one thing that we talked about in our ownership manager meeting is our inventory has to come under check. It has to be watched all day. We have to use the technology of V-Auto because we do want to sell more used cars, but we have to attract more new. But we can't just have crazy new car volume and all over the place. Like we have too many cars here. So we're discounting ourselves to move inventory and keep it tighter because it costs a lot of money to hold it.
To hold them, yeah. So I'll move on to like seasonal buying trends, right? Here saying we've had some busy weekends and stuff like that. It's the winter and we're in the Northeast, right? So we can definitely see major buying trends depending on the time of year. So like how are our truck and like SUV sales currently, right? Because I don't think anyone's coming in and buying a Corvette right now.
So that's the time when you can get a good deal on a used Corvette. But I can guarantee if we had 4 trucks with plows on them in the last 60 days, they're not here anymore, obviously, because this is the time when people
We actually sold a good amount of them.
Yeah, and we say, hey, you know, this is going to be great. I'll make some money on the side and plow some driveways, or, you know, I really need to do that.
Yeah, that's funny. We were just talking about Celia's in our meeting because they just picked up a bunch of trucks. And they like outfitted all plow trucks. Like, yes.
How do we take advantage of that? Not just for ourselves, but in terms of helping the consumer. Like, do you look at those certain trucks? Do we fit new cars with plows? Like, how do we?
So on the new side, what, you know, the Ford stores, the Chevy stores, and, you know, the Chrysler, Dodge store, they'll put some plows on a couple vehicles, but you would hate to put an $8,000, $9,000 plow on a truck that then you as the consumer have been looking for that exact same truck and you don't want to plow. So sometimes it's, hey, you know, we have the ability of doing it and having a 3 or 4 day turnaround if you want to buy that Ram 2500 and it was everything you wanted, but you wanted a plow. It's easier for us to do it after the fact than to have that plow sitting on the lot and you want that truck, but you have no use for a plow. Yep. And now you kind of swayed you away and you'll go to a different dealer that doesn't have that.
So what about on our selling process? Do we mention that to customers more often now that we can outfit that?
We ask it too in the winter because if they're a landscape company, we have to ask you plan with that because it affects warranty and all that stuff with their vehicle.
So our sales strategies does change.
But also another thing is like we've been having milder winters. We get like 1 good snowstorm a year, so it's not like crazy. Yeah. So these guys are keeping their plow trucks longer.
Yeah, they said this year's gonna be worse.
So we don't put tons of plows on the vehicles. We do it for that. It's not like we're trying to time the snowstorms or anything like that. But like you said, we're doing it after the fact. They know we could do it. We have the relationships with all the local landscapers, plow companies, and all that stuff. So it's not really an issue. We always have a ton of trucks. If you go to our lots, there's trucks everywhere.
And on the used side, if you have a vehicle with a plow, normally, we'll give you 2 numbers. Hey, this is the price of your vehicle without the plow, and if you wanted to keep the plow. What you spend on a plow brand new, you're never going to get that investment back for it. So a lot of times we do take in trucks on trade that the customer had a plow frame on it, but they ended up buying the same body style that they currently have, only 2 years newer. And the plow, all they have to do is get a new frame for their new truck, because the plow is going to work with their new truck, and they keep their plow.
Yeah.
So now how do we do it in the summer? When someone's coming in and trade a truck with a plow, do we still want it with the plow, or do we change?
Okay, we'll give the option.
Yeah, we're not going to say no.
Same thing if you came in today with a Corvette trade, we're not going to say no, but being in the Northeast, there are seasonal patterns, and we have to then make that decision whether or not, okay, it's January. Do we think that Corvette is going to be good on our showroom to resell it with 3 or 4 months left of some pretty cold weather?
Or is it a
before we're
rare
able
one
to-
kind of that we could hold on to and make it through the winter?
Or do we want to immediately wholesale that vehicle, cash in our return on investment and move on?
Cash flow is important too. You can't just have all the inventory and no cash flow.
I do gotta say, Jay jinxed us before this, because you said it's gonna be a bad winter. Jay said we get one bad snowstorm. Before we started filming, Jay was on a phone call and said this is probably the last snowstorm we're gonna get. So he just jinxed us. Probably like 2 weeks. 2 weeks from now, we're gonna get like another 8 inches.
Just the cold. We haven't had the cold, so it being cold, we're gonna get some snow.
It is absolutely freezing. So let's move on. I know Brian's got an unfair advantage here, right? To guess some price of vehicles we have.
I'm not guessing.
I mean, I'll probably be wrong with every single one of them. Maybe I'll be.
Yeah, but it all matters about how close you are. So I did it in a range of prices. I didn't just pick cheap ones. I didn't just pick like expensive ones. So let's see. The first one that's on there is a 2016 Volkswagen Passat with 87,000 miles on it. How much do you think it is on our website?
$12,000.
What's your guess?
14,000.
14? 11,600. All right. So a 2017 Lincoln MKZ with...
I'm going to speak at NAD. You can't make me look like an amateur here.
A 2017 Lincoln MKZ with 91,000 miles.
It was probably $50,000. Now, we're not talking about trim levels, so that makes it tough. I'm going to say
It's a hybrid reserve, if that helps.
14.5.
14.5? Do you want to guess?
13.2.
15.5. Or no, 15.2. That's what it is. 15,000.
I think I remember seeing that one on the website with the 2. That's why I thought it was something with the 2.
All right, so this one's an interesting car that...
This is the one at Chrysler, right?
Yeah, the 2004 Pontiac GTO with 39,000 miles on it.
Manual transmission. So it's funny because as vehicles hit their depreciation, there's a certain period of time where then they start to appreciate again. I bet in 2009 this car was worth almost nothing, and now in 2025 there's that
Manual.
the manual transmissions which are going
mileage
away
too. Jesus.
and the people that couldn't afford it 15 years ago that now have the money, they want it. I'm going to say we're asking at this point 17,000.
Wow. 17.5. I forgot to let you take a guess.
No, that was my guess. 17.5. My guess is 17.
The one he could have got. All right, so this one's more back to like basic inventory, right? So let's see where. Oh no, I didn't take a
2022 Honda Civic, 33,000 miles. Tell me this is the blue one at WS. I'm going to say 23,000.
This is unfair to me.
Here, hold on. I didn't take a screenshot of this one. I got to go to the website to see what it is. So 2022.
Got the guy cheating on the right side of me. We have one at Chrysler and we have one at WS. I don't know which one we're talking about. One's blue, one's black.
I'm gonna tell you right now once I get to it. So I tried taking a screenshot and writing them down so I don't have to do this. What's it? 2022 Honda Civic.
Both are sports. I don't know what these are new, so it's going to be a guess. 23 grand.
So this one's the one at Mitsu. Is the one here. I don't know. That one's 30,000 miles. This isn't the one at Mitsu.
Maybe it's sold. See?
All right. Well, we'll go with one.
We got one at Ford. That's 23.9.
All right. So what about This one is a 2022 Civic hatchback, so a new body style with 20,000 miles on it. It's a Mitsu. So it's got 10,000 miles.
$24,000.
You're pretty close.
What is it?
I know. I just looked at it. No, I wasn't. I was looking up because I didn't see this Honda on there.
All right, so now you got a 2022 Lincoln Aviator Grand Touring with 51,000 miles on it. And it's a certified because of the year.
54,000.
Ooh, this is the one you're the furthest off on.
Yeah, it's tough. I mean, you can get an Aviator for 60 grand, you can get an Aviator for 90 grand. So that's the tough part. I wouldn't know.
44,000.
Okay, so better deal than I thought.
You probably just cut the price by $4 grand the other day or something like that.
So now we got a 2019 Chevy Corvette Stingray with 32,000 miles on it. So 1LT.
1LT?
Yeah. Oh no, he knew which one it was. That's not good.
It's $34,000.
Wow, you're off by. What do you think it is?
40,000?
44,000. You're off by.
I mean, it's
I know we have another one. I didn't write down. We have a convertible.
What's the Land Rover? What is it? An 80K?
I think the Land Rover 72,000.
No, Jay's closer. 75.7.
Oh, look at that.
You said 82?
I said 80K.
No. You can't be over though. It's like
No, because I know these better because Lexi sends me only the high line on our website.
They're such a cool car. The Defenders. They're so.
I heard they're not great though, to be honest. Not the best reviews.
Those are great. If you go and search up how much their headlights cost, you'd be
They're lease vehicles. Don't get me wrong. I think they look beautiful, but they're lease vehicles.
you'd be sickened. So now, dream cars. You know, this is another fun segment, Brian. What would be your dream car? Out of anything you can pick from. Doesn't have to be something you can afford. It could be literally anything you can pick from.
let's not say a dream car. Let's just say a car that has, I grew up loving was a Ferrari F430 red with the tan leather interior.
Is that still your background on your computer?
I think that's a 488 is the background. But that's just when that was made in like 2003 to 2007. So that's when I was 13, 14, 15 years old, and it was the car that I would love to have. Yeah. So, I mean, to me, that was but would I want one now? No, I think a Corvette that's 20 years old with 30,000 miles holds up 100 times better than a 20-year-old Ferrari or a 20-year-old Lamborghini.
You're fixing that Ferrari. You're probably paying $100,000.
So I mean, it's just the upkeep is wild. But that's the car that I just grew up with.
I like that answer. What about you, Jay?
I mean, I'm a Ferrari guy at heart. I really love the Ferraris. Big fan. But right now, I've been loving the Porsche GT3 RS.
It's funny. I was gonna say the same.
It is not as sexy as the Ferrari, but the more I read about it, the more I watch it, the performance it has, the way it handles. Like, I think right now I'd really want to drive the hell out of one of those.
It's a track car. Yeah.
Like just drive, not like all about driving, not about like the sex appeal or anything like that. Driving it.
That's not something you're gonna drive a lot, like you said, track car.
Super excited for the product we sell. Granted, I love my Jeep Trackhawk. I think it's one of the baddest. It's the baddest SUV like ever made. But the ZR1 that's coming out for Chevrolet, to see what that car could do compared to these other supercars that you spend $500,000 on, up to $1 million, is going to be something absolutely electric. I think it's going to really set a new standard for what American-made vehicles can actually do and perform against the Italian and all the other brands, the Germans and stuff.
Thank you for tuning in. Don't forget to like, comment, hit that subscribe button, and follow us at Healey Brothers on all social platforms.